lovers, ever had a moment in bed where you're giving it your all, expecting to hear her moan or scream in pleasure, but instead, it's crickets? It might have left you scratching your head, wondering, what gives? Well, today we're getting real and diving into 5 shocking reasons she doesn't scream when you're getting it on. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll have a whole new understanding of what's really going on between the sheets. Point 1. She's in her own world. Intense focus on pleasure. First up, let's talk about when she's in her own world. You see, sometimes when a woman is really into what's happening, she gets lost in the sensations. Her mind is focused solely on the pleasure she's experiencing, and that intense concentration can actually keep her from vocalizing what she's feeling. It's like when you're so deep into a great movie that you forget to react out loud. The same thing happens in the bedroom. She's not ignoring you. She's just fully immersed in the moment, savoring every sensation silently. Think of it like a sensory overload. Her body might be feeling so much pleasure that her brain can't handle anything else, not even screaming. This isn't a bad thing. In fact, it's a sign that what you're doing is really hitting the spot. So, don't let the silence fool you. It might be one of the highest compliments you can get. Point 2. She's self-conscious about being loud. Now, let's get into the second reason. She's self-conscious about being loud. Believe it or not, a lot of women hold back because they're worried about how they might sound. Maybe she's afraid of being too loud, or maybe she's been conditioned to think that making noise during sex is inappropriate. It could also be that she's worried about being overheard, especially if you're not in a completely private setting. Society has placed so many expectations on women about how they should behave, even in bed. Some women might feel embarrassed or unsure about letting go completely, especially if they've never been with someone who made them feel safe to express themselves freely. It's all about creating an environment where she feels comfortable enough to unleash her inner desires. So, what can you do? Reassure her. Let her know that you love hearing her enjoy herself, and that it turns you on even more. Sometimes, just a little encouragement is all it takes for her to feel free to express herself vocally. Point 3. She's not fully comfortable, physically or emotionally. All right, here's a big one, comfort. The third reason she might not be screaming is because she's not fully comfortable, either physically or emotionally. This could be a game changer. If she's feeling tense, if something hurts, or if there's something on her mind, it's going to be hard for her to let go and enjoy herself. And when she's not completely comfortable, her body isn't going to react the way it would if she was. Comfort in the bedroom is everything. It's not just about the physical, though that's important too. It's about feeling safe, respected, and valued. If she's worried about how she looks, if she's stressed, or if she's feeling any kind of emotional disconnect, it's going to hold her back. This is where communication becomes key. Talk to her. Ask her if there's anything she needs, or if there's anything that would make her feel more comfortable. Maybe it's about slowing things down, changing positions, or just making sure she feels appreciated. The more you focus on her comfort, the more likely she'll be to express herself, both physically and vocally. Point 4. She's naturally quiet during sex. Now, here's something that might surprise you. Some women are just naturally quiet during sex. That's right, not every woman is a screamer, and that's perfectly normal. Some women experience pleasure in more subtle ways. They might moan softly, grip the sheets, or arch their back instead of screaming out loud. And that doesn't mean they're not enjoying themselves. In fact, they might be having an incredible time, but they're just wired differently. Sexual responses are as unique as fingerprints. What turns one person into a wild screamer might make another melt into a quiet, blissful state. It's important to recognize and appreciate these differences rather than expecting everyone to react the same way. Pay attention to her body language, her breathing, the way she responds to your touch. These are all signs that she's enjoying herself, even if she's not making a lot of noise. So, if your partner is naturally quiet, don't take it as a sign of disinterest. Instead, learn to read her signals and enjoy the intimacy in your own unique way. Point 5. The experience isn't fully satisfying for her. Alright, it's time for some real talk. The fifth reason she might not be screaming is because the experience isn't fully satisfying for her. Now, this isn't about blaming or pointing fingers. Sometimes, what works for one person doesn't work for another. If she's not vocalizing pleasure, it might be because she's not reaching that peak level of satisfaction. This can be a tough pill to swallow, but it's also an opportunity for growth and discovery. Let's be clear, every woman is different. What gets one woman off might not do the same for another. This is where communication becomes your best friend. Talk to her, ask her what she likes, what she doesn't like, and what she's curious about. The more you understand her desires, the better you'll be able to please her. And when you find what really drives her wild, you'll see and hear the difference. Bonus point: misconceptions about porn. Before we wrap things up, let's address one last thing: misconceptions about porn. Many people, both men and women, have expectations about sex that are heavily influenced by what they see in adult films. But here's the thing: porn isn't real life. It's a performance, and the screaming, moaning, and exaggerated reactions are often just that, exaggerations. Real sex is about connection, intimacy, and mutual pleasure, and it doesn't always look or sound like it does in the movies. If you're expecting her to scream like a porn star, you might be setting yourself up for disappointment. Instead, focus on creating a real, authentic connection. That's where the true magic happens. Remember, sex is personal, and every experience is unique. Don't get caught up in unrealistic expectations. Instead, enjoy the journey and learn what really turns your partner on. So, there you have it. 5 shocking reasons she doesn't scream when you're getting it on. Remember, the key to great sex isn't about making her scream. It's about making her feel amazing, however that looks or sounds for her. Pay attention to her needs, communicate openly, and most importantly, enjoy the experience together. Thanks for tuning in. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more insights, and drop a comment below about what you'd like to learn next. Until next time, keep it passionate, keep it real, and keep exploring.